Hi guys, how are we all doing? Tornado922 here, and a little bit different. Traditionally, I do my Q&As in my living room, but I thought, seeing as the weather is so glorious this evening, and I'm a week overdue, I thought I'd do it differently. You join me on top of a railway bridge, in between the villages of Ashton and Road. Ashton is that away, Road is that away. Behind me there, just about there, are the wind turbines, adjacent to the M1, and about 10-minute walk from my own house, so win-win. Just finished work, and as I say, this has been a bit overdue, so I've got trusty phone on me, and yeah, this is probably going to be 3 parts. The first part will be filmed here. Second and third parts, not too sure. The second part I may be able to do on this bridge depending on how the light is doing. It's currently, 4:30. So there may be plenty of time. And the beauty of this is that every now and again I will be interrupted by the passing of the trains. Whilst getting set up, I've had 66 520 for a Freightliner past me, presumably bound for Felixstowe. I've then had 2 Avanti West Coast Class 390 Pendolinos past me, going north and south, and then a pair of London North Western Railway Class 350s, going from London Euston to Crewe. That's past me. So there will be comings and goings that you will hear, and then I'll probably act upon when we go about them. But I'm going to load up the video of me asking for your questions. And then I'm going to start from the very first question and work my way up. No one can ever tell me that living in a city is better than this. No one. Right, so. Pause you, because otherwise you're going to end up going to an advert. Right. Down to the bottom. You'd have thought I'd have done this beforehand, but no. I've got some truly belting questions in here, so thank you all so very much for taking part on this. So, to kick things off, you'll have to forgive me if I look here. I'm looking at myself now. The camera is here. I'll have to get used to that. So, Southwestern Train Spotter Jesus Christ, doing well here. Southwestern Train Spotter 2020. Opinions on Southwestern Railway's new 701s. Also, can I have a shout out? There's your shout out. See what you did there. 701s. Yeah, they look perfectly fine. Obviously, haven't travelled on one yet. Don't know when I will actually eventually travel on one. That's healthy. But, yeah, they look like absolutely great units, and that's really all I can say on the matter. Emma Cowser, would you mind, after lockdown, would you go to stations between Stafford and Birmingham? Yeah, I've got no qualms in doing that whatsoever. I've only done that section of the line once. Truth be told, I have been meaning to go to Wolverhampton for quite some time now, so at some point I will go and do that. As for the other stations, I'm not too sure. Sorry, I'm briefly distracted by what looks like a pair of London North Western Railway Class 350s about to pass by, so there will be a period of distraction about to take place as they are presumably bound for Birmingham New Street. .405 and 206. Those units are actually bound for Northampton. Right, MC Plays. What would you say is your favourite British train livery? It has to be. I'll go the Intercity Swallow would be the one. It just seems to suit absolutely everything. It's an absolutely gorgeous livery. Right, Jamie Lee McCulloch. Stay safe, Tornado922, and keep up the good work on the Trains Out videos. Well, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. About to be interrupted by another London North Western Railway Class 350. MC Plays. When will you next be able to film? If all goes well, April. Start of April is when I commence filming. Both 352 variations. Owen Jedi 5000. If you were the Transport Secretary, will you do a better job than Grant Shapps? It depends though, because what would you have me do? If I was the Transport Secretary, okay, let's ignore all transport for the moment. Let's ignore airplanes, ignore shipping, ignore buses. Let's say that my job as Transport Secretary is purely the railways. So, if I were the Transport Secretary for the railways, what I would do, High Speed 2 would be getting the go-ahead. That would be happening. I would try and get more rail links situated from London to continental Europe. So obviously, you've got Eurostar running around, but I would try and strike deals with other nations, so SNCF, DB, to try and get some more frequent services from them. So not to give necessarily Eurostar competition, but DB had initially wanted to run services from Frankfurt to London St Pancras. I would love to see stuff like that, and I'd like to see more freight traverse through the Channel Tunnel as well. I would also try and implement sleeper services from continental Europe into the United Kingdom. I would do runs from continental Europe into Glasgow and so on and so forth. So that's what I would try and do. But as a whole, could I do a better job than Grant Shapps? Probably not. My understanding of the whole transport network throughout the United Kingdom wouldn't be worth it. I'd have to learn significantly more about the way airports are run, harbours, bus companies. There'd be so much there that I just really couldn't do. Right. LNER train fan, what is your favourite line, like the East Coast Main Line, West Coast Main Line, Great Western Main Line? What's your favourite? I think I've said this one before, but I've got the East Coast and West Coast are fantastic for both different reasons. They both got absolutely outstanding scenery through different parts of the line, and obviously the rolling stock that goes with them. So it would have to be a tie between the West Coast and the East Coast. I couldn't really choose between the two. East Mids train spotting. What's your opinion on IEPs, and what is your favourite rail operator and favourite rail livery? The IEPs are perfectly fine. I have no qualms with them. I know other people seem to take a strong disliking towards them, but I've certainly got no qualms with them whatsoever. I think they're absolutely perfectly decent enough units. They do the job perfectly well. Favourite rail operator? What did I say previously? I think it was East Midlands Railway because of the livery they had on the HSTs, and I think East Midlands are still pretty much up there. And obviously, they've got 180s, they've still got HSTs, and I think it was 43102 has now been done into the Intercity livery, because that's the world speed record holder for the fastest diesel engine, if I'm not mistaken. And favourite livery was excuse me, Intercity Swallow. Put my teeth back in. LNR train fan, what are your thoughts on Grand Central? I think they're an absolutely perfectly respectable rail operator. They offer fantastic service, fantastic routes. It's a pity they've had to pull out of the Blackpool to London services. Obviously, they'd spent money on getting the Grand Central name plastered on a load of Mark IV sets, and obviously the Class 90s. So it's a pity that they're now going to be put to waste, and hopefully we'll be able to get something sorted, or they'll be able to get something sorted at some stage or another. But they've kind of put it to bed that it's not going to happen anymore. But, never say never. Joshua Platt. If you had to pick a favourite railway station between the West Coast Main Line and the East Coast Main Line, what station would it be and why? Between the two. Again, I can't choose between the two. I can give you one on each line, certainly, but I can't say that one station is better on this line than another one is on another line, because the architectural nature of some of the stations will beat them, the services, the way everything's laid out. So, yeah, I can't choose between the two. What I will say is my favourite on the East Coast is Doncaster, and I think my favourite on the West Coast was, I think I've always had it as Carlisle, I believe. I'm sure this changes every time I answer these questions, I'm sure it does. Owen Jedi 5000 on Transport 52, do you like my maps about different places in the UK? Birds. I've not downloaded the maps. I've had to look at them on Steam Workshop, and truth be told, you have way too many mods put into there that realistically you don't actually need. If you were to lessen the amount of mods put in, I think you would get a lot more interest in them. I think what you should do is include a few more screenshots of the actual map itself so people can get a better understanding, because that may entice a few people more into actually getting them. That would be my advice, because that's something I haven't done when I published my own one. I put the singular screenshot up, and that was it. I didn't really do too much in the way of a description or even more screenshots. Right, Panther Cat. Hi Tornado. Hello. Love your videos, mate. Looking forward to Trains Out videos coming this coming year. Just a few questions. What is your opinion on EMRS Class 170s and the 810 coming to the middle of mainline in 2022? Well, the 170s, perfectly respectable units. They do the job well, comfortable to travel on, very good at acceleration. No qualms with them whatsoever, so I think it's great that East Midlands Railway have got them. They're very reliable, no problems. And the 810s, or the Auroras, as they're going to be known, I think the Auroras are going to look absolutely fantastic. I say the body shell will look fantastic. I'm not too sure on the colour scheme. It may work on me, but we'll wait and see. Ryan Thornton, what's your most favourite and least favourite livery for the Class 800? Least favourite is Great Western, because it's a gorgeous livery, but it's a bit of a bland livery. Favourite at the moment is LNER. I'm not too keen on whole trains either, but LNER is definitely up there with my favourite. Sachin Mahil, what are your thoughts on Avanti ordering 805s and 807s? Well, that was always going to happen, wasn't it? Let's be fair here. Seeing as Hitachi are pretty much running away with train orders at the moment, it sort of stands to reason that they were going to get the bid for the West Coast Main Line as well. It's a pity that the 221s are going to be disappearing, but they'll find a new home with Cross Country, I'm sure. It makes sense for Cross Country to inherit that fleet rather than the Super Voyagers going off and being scrapped. Owen Jedi 5000, will high-speed 2 trains be faster than intercity trains? Yes. LNR train fan, what's your favourite train and train operators? Now, I answer this one quite often in terms of favourite train. It entirely depends on the role that they do. For commuter, 321. Intercity, HST. International, 373. Freight, 68. 70. 3756. And train operators, I don't know. I mean, train operators is a difficult one because they're changing continuously. I mean, I suppose my local one is London North Western and Avanti West Coast because they traverse the West Coast Main Line on a daily basis. So I'd probably have to go with them because I've travelled with them more than any other operator. Owen Jedi 5000, there's a theme here. On Transport Fever 2, could you do another series about the railways in Asia? Maybe I would have to try and find a few more mods because the in-game stuff for the Asian market isn't amazing, so I'd have to try and get a few more mods done, but I don't see why I can't do something like that. Nordwind 872. Do you think the HST should be scrapped, or should the train companies that use them should keep them? Yes, they should be kept, but they shouldn't be kept for the sake of the rail enthusiasts. They should be kept based on their workability. If they're going to continue providing good work and they're not going to start becoming horrendously expensive to maintain, then I think they can certainly do that. As we have an Avanti West Coast Class 390 making an appearance, and there's another one up in the far distance. That was 390-008. And then we have... In fact, what's the time? No, it's not what I thought it was. Right, and this one is... 390-045. Beautiful. Yeah, so... as long as the HSTs don't start racking up the money in terms of their maintenance, then, yeah... They should be kept and run for as long as feasibly possible before other alternatives are looked at, i.e. the 800 series. Tim Doherty, would you support the Royal family? Because you do. Yeah, no, I do. I think the Royals are absolutely fantastic. I know that it's a very hot topic and you get some people that want to abolish the monarchy. I personally don't see the issue. I mean, the Queen... has done a tremendous amount for this nation during her reign, and long may it continue. Tim Doherty again. Are you married with kids? No and no. Not yet, anyway. Owen Joddo 5000, do you like the new class... Sorry, do you like the new class 196 Civity DMUs? Yeah, they look absolutely splendid. They look like very, very good units. Right, Christian Scuts. I have a couple of questions. How dare you? One, what is your favourite station in London? I would have to go with King's Cross St Pancras. Two, what is your least favourite train which isn't the Pacer or the 139? Least favourite train that isn't the Pacer or the 139? Ooh. That's a tough one. Because everything else I've been on is quite nice. I don't really know. But what train is running around that I could live without? That's a tough one. That's a real tough one. I'll have to have a think and get back to you on that one. Right, Levy Eddie Childcraft. 3 questions here. One, do you think should Southern get rid of the 313s? You think they should? Okay, you think they should. Why is that? They need to find a replacement, and as far as I'm aware, the 313s are they're old, but they're still quite sturdy and still going strong and offer a decent ride. 2, do you prefer 2+3 seating or 2+2? Truth be told, it doesn't really bother me. I suppose if I'm travelling with the family, then a 2+2 is perfectly acceptable, but it depends who you travel with, really. It honestly does. It's each individual's taste. Question 3, would you consider filming other stations on the Brighton Main Line that you have not covered, such as Balcombe or Battersea Park? Yeah. Yeah, there's loads of stations around the UK that I haven't been to that I really should go and film at. When I'll be able to get to those stations remains to be seen. I don't know at this stage. And a random question, curry or gravy with your chips? Gravy. Got to be gravy. With cheese. Grated cheese with gravy. Spot on. I can hear noises. However, I can't see what's making the noises. I can now, and it's a Class 390 Pendolino, courtesy of Avanti West Coast. I've got time to answer... No, I haven't. No, I've not got time to ask a question just yet, so I shall let this Avanti Pendolino pass through, and then I shall get to the next question. Not sure about the number on that one. Right, Reese Collins. 2 questions here. Right, what is your favourite stretch of line to film at? I suppose it's the section of the West Coast Main Line between Milton Keynes Central and, Watford, because that's when you get all the rail services, with the exception of the Tring service. And obviously you've got a fair amount of freight that traverses that neck of the woods quite often. So I'd have to say that one would be up there. 2, what would you say is your least favourite station to film at? I suppose I haven't got a least favourite station. I've got a least favourite type of station. So I'm going to reword your question. And it would have to be stations where the train services are horrendously infrequent. Or, there's like 4 or 5 every hour. Because waiting in between for services to come through can get exceptionally tedious and very boring, especially when there's nothing around me to look at. Whereas here, for argument's sake, you've known how many trains have come through in the last 19 minutes. But whilst waiting for trains, I'm able to look around and see things, and there's traffic passing by, and when I was getting set up, there were people walking dogs, and yeah, it's just lovely to look at. I've got crows playing on the line just down there. I've got bunny rabbits in the field just over there. So yeah, that would be that one. Right, Adam P. Trains. Are you going to play SCR, GCR, or Roblox? I've no idea what the first 2 are, but Roblox, no. It's not my cup of tea. British Train Spotter, I reckon you're French. I know you play Train Simulator. Will you ever play Train Sim World 2? I will play Train Sim World 2. I've been threatening to do it for quite some time now. When I will actually get around to doing that, I'm not too sure, but I will get it done. And I am being distracted yet again by another Avanti West Coast Class 390 Pendolino. I don't think... Has this one got the face mask? No, it doesn't. That was 39117 in the full livery. Very nice indeed. Josh's train room. When High Speed 2 does get built, will you be doing a Trains App video? No. No, yes, I will. I'll do it on the Great Western Main Line, because you're going to get the region, the slower services, and obviously then you can have the interchange station with High Speed 2 for the high speed ones to go gallivanting around the nation. So I will do it there, but will I actually go and find one of the new stations built explicitly for High Speed 2? Probably not, because again, I'm not sure what the frequency of trains is going to be, obviously, because it's not going to be built anytime soon, but I can't imagine you're going to find a train coming through every 10 minutes. Archer 307, who do you prefer, Southern or Great Western Railway? Great Western, primarily because of the vast size of the fleet, the variety of the fleet, and the destinations served. Oliver does nearly everything. Do you? Can you do trains at Huddersfield sometime? At some point I will. People have been asking me to go to Huddersfield for quite some time now, so at some stage I will go there and get Huddersfield done, that's for sure. Oliver does nearly everything again. What is your favourite locomotive and what is your favourite multiple unit? Well, the locomotive, I technically answered that in an earlier question in regards to what my favourite types of trains were in terms of locomotive for freight. So I answered that one in a sense. There's a bird just down there. You can't see, but just that way there's a hedgerow. And there's a bird that's every now and again he just pokes his head up, he's making a bit of noise, and then just disappears. Yes, and favourite multiple unit, 321. Right, very unprofessional train spotting. I'm sure you are very professional at being unprofessional. Right, what have we got here? 4 questions. So, hi Tornado 922, love your videos, thank you very much. 1, can you please do a video at Bromsgrove? Sure, I don't see why I can't. 2, out of the 2 videos you've done on the Birmingham Cross City Line, Barnt Green and Five Ways, what was your favourite and why? Barnt Green, just because it's got a little bit of everything to it. Five Ways is a nice enough station in its own manner, but Barnt Green just had a little bit of flair to it, and it's like I love the way the station is laid out. 3, would you rather film a 37 doing what they do best, or film a Pace on its way to being scrapped? Can I do both? Can I do both? Can I cheat the system and do both? Because I'd really like to do both. In fact, I'd like to be the one filming the Pace of being scrapped whilst indeed scrapping it. 4, will you play Trains Sim World 2 and put a Tornado 922 livery on a train of your choice? If you can do something like that, then yeah, I'll have a crack at creating my own livery. Why not? Could be quite good. Right. I have a GCSE grade essay here. That bird is toying with me. Right, so, yeah, you might want a coffee for this one. Right, hello Tornado 922, I'm the channel that Night Electricity Universe talked about in the last Q&A. I'm the same guy. How rude of you, man. Right, anyway, I've got general and then it branches into trains. So, under the category of general, I have 3 questions here. So, question 1. If you still continue Among Us, will you ever do multiplayer videos, especially with KTV videos? Yeah, if he plays Among Us, then I don't see why not. I mean, I actually haven't played that game all that much since I actually recorded my last video, but there's no reason why I can't do something like that. Just depends if it's the sort of thing he'd be interested in. 2. Do you prefer pop, such as Katy Perry, or old school music, i.e. Bohemian Rhapsody? I know you like Nothing Else Matters by Metallica. It's a cracker of a song. It is an absolute belter of a song. If I had to choose between pop or old school wins every time. Because you've got your likes of your Metallica, your Fleetwood Macs, your Queen. You've got who else have you got? You got Iron Maiden, AC/DC, Motorhead. That bird is really toying with me. I'm going to catch him. But yeah, the old school music, it trumps modern day stuff comfortably. Nothing wrong with Katy Perry. I like Katy Perry. She's a very talented singer and she does some good music. But I find myself listening far more often to proper music back in the day. I.e. Steve Harley and Cockney Rebel. He is brilliant. Absolutely top quality. And 3, in brackets, funny question, do you like dubstep? No. Right. Is there anything up there? Nope. Anything up there? Nope. There is a cricket around here though. Excellent. Right, so I've got 3 questions here under the category of trains. So, question 1. Which catenary design do you prefer? Triangulated, like your main line up to Preston, portal frames with a beam up top between 2 masts to support 4 or more catenary wires, i.e. the Great Western Main Line, or headspan catenary, East Coast Main Line, Midland Main Line, Great Western Main Line up to Hayes and Harlington. I have to say I probably like the triangulated catenary because I'm actually looking at it right now. I've got a mast that's got to be 25 metres going across these 4 tracks because obviously I'm on a bridge and this bridge has a central pillar. So the tracks are coming up, they have to both curve around to avoid the pillar. Now what the catenary designers could have done is just put 2 masts either side and have it split. All they've done is simply lengthen this beam and then it's the same story as it progresses further down up and around the bend. So that's the one I prefer. 2. If you have watched my content, what do you think I should do to improve my videos? I'm saying that because when I do try my commentary to it, I feel like I'm imitating you at times, which can be cringy. I'm not Tornado 922, lol. I'm asking so I can get a big train spotter's advice on how to improve and be better. Honestly, I haven't watched your content yet, but I will go and do so over the course of this weekend. What I will say, if you are trying to do commentary, don't try and force yourself to be like somebody else. They say imitation is the greatest form of flattery, so the fact that you're trying to do something very similar to me is deeply flattering, but don't try and force yourself to try and do what I do. Make it natural. I can see and hear a pair of Class 221 Super Voyagers for Avanti West Coast. But yeah, don't try and force yourself to be like somebody else. Try and be yourself. You'll find it flows much more naturally. Oh, that was a pair of them in the old Virgin Trains West Coast colour scheme. But yeah, just when you go to a station and you want to do commentary, just do the first thing that comes to mind. Don't try and overthink yourself, because that can be the worst thing you can do. There's a jogger coming past. Now, I commend her for keeping the 2 metre distance. However, what she nearly did, and what I don't think she realised I saw, there's a lip just at the end of the bridge, and she nearly went head over heels. I'm not saying I would have laughed, but I wouldn't have. Oh, was there somebody else coming? Oh no, 2 people in the hedgerow in the far distance, walking a pooch. Right, so, question 3. Do you think the East Coast Main Line needs its catenary to be fixed between New Barnet and Hadley Wood, as some of the masts are not aligned 90 degrees to the track bed in some areas? I'm asking because I've seen those misaligned masts in many journey videos on that route and wonder if that should be dealt with. Honestly, as long as the catenary doesn't have to sit perpendicular to the line. It can be odd shapes. As long as it's fixed into the ground and it's not at risk of coming down, then you'll be fine. You've got more chance of wires being pulled down instead of a full catenary mast. The only way that realistically you're going to find a catenary mast will come crashing down is if it hasn't been constructed properly or if it's struck by another train. Like I'm looking at some catenary masts right now, and they're not sitting straight. It's a slight bend, but they've got supports crisscrossing through them. So they're being held and welded into place. So the only chance that they're going to have of coming down is either through a landslide of some sort, or if a train were to collect it. Speaking of which, we have another Avanti West Coast Class 390 Pendolino about to pass by. And that was 390-118. So, Kyron Smith, could you do the Class 321 in Train Simulator? And another, will you play Train Sim World 2? Yeah, loads of people have been asking me about the Class 321. They seem to be rather impatient. For those of you who have been watching the Train Simulator videos, I've been doing a load of German content as of late. I've got one more German route to do. Then I will be branching on to the Class 321 from Ipswich to Colchester. Train Sim World 2, I will do that at some stage. Well, that jogger wasn't exactly going at breakneck speed, and she's buggered off. Alright, so, East Midlands Railways fan, it's just two questions here. One, will you consider doing the Ecclesbourne Valley Railway in Wixworth? I don't see why not. There's plenty of railways I need to do. Two, what is your favourite Midland mainline station? Pardon me. I would have to go with Sheffield. I think Sheffield is an absolutely outstanding station. It's got a fantastic design, and the variety in services that you get, coupled with the freight, does make it a very good station. But Leicester is a very close second. Owen Woolnough, what is your favourite piece of train memorabilia, if you have any? Well, I suppose it would be from when I drove 92 Squadron on the Nairn Valley Railway. And I've got a photo of me standing next to the locomotive and inside the footplate as well. On the footplate, should I say, sorry. So I'd have to say that would be up there, certainly. JBW456. Sounds like a sort of postal code. Can you go back to Nuneaton? Your last video there was great. Yes, the last video I did there was from 2 years ago. It may even be longer than that, and it was a Rush Hour film. And I have every intention of going back there to do another Rush Hour film at some stage. In fact, I'm actually very tempted to make an all-day film at Nuneaton and then incorporate an evening Rush Hour film into that, because I thoroughly enjoyed it, and the level of freight that was coming through my 2 hours there was just biblical. Absolutely biblical. Right. Rico Banging Tunes. When are you going to be Train Simulator? I have no idea what you're trying to ask there, my good man, so I'm going to trust that you actually mean when am I going to be doing Train Simulator? Next couple of days. Arnold spotting videos. Which favourite locomotive do you love? The 68s, a 37s, a 70, a 47, one of the 73s, and why is your favourite? Which favourite locomotive do you love? Well, out of the 68s, Jesus Christ, the 68s, the 37s, the 70s, the 47s, and the 73s, it's the 68s, the 37s, 70s, and 47s. 73s I can, take them and leave them. But the first four, they're fantastic. I can't really choose between the two, because the 68 sounds gorgeous when she's pulling away. The 37, when the driver puts down the beans, is just absolute beautiful. And, well, 47s and 56s are the same. Put your foot down, you're going to know about it. The Cyber Leader WHUFC. Hiya, mate, do you love Doctor Who? Yes, I do. I do love Doctor Who. However, I found that my love for Doctor Who was dwindling under Matt Smith. He was okay, but it was dwindling, and then Peter Capaldi came along, and it kind of really did die off at that stage. For me, the best of all the Doctors and all of the episodes, coincidentally, came from when David Tennant was at the helm. I think that's when Doctor Who had really peaked, and it was brilliant, because the storylines were just absolutely phenomenal. Pendolino. Not sure the number on that one. I did try. NYC Kid 38 lol. Hi Tornado, how are you doing so far? All good. Yeah, there's nothing too drastic to report. My hair's got tragically longer. I'm looking forward to the hairdressers being opened once again, so I can get this mop completely cut off. The questions I have is, what is your favourite third rail EMU, and will you be filming the Great Eastern Main Line, where most of the EMUs disappear and the only trains there are mostly just the 720s and the 745s? Yeah, I will still happily film the Great Eastern Main Line, regardless of the variety in rolling stock disappearing. Obviously, I know the 321s are currently in the process of being scrapped. I will still go there. I love the Great Eastern Main Line. It's a fantastic line. Obviously, you've got all the freight that buggers off to Felixstowe on that route, so I'm still going to go there quite happily. Third rail EMU, it has to be the 458. I think they look absolutely. They've got character. They've got style to them. What's the time? 35 minutes. I can do a few more. McShibby42. What line do you like to film on the best? The West Coast, East Coast, Great Western, etc. Film on the most has to be the West Coast, primarily because if you actually look at all the playlists I've accumulated, the West Coast Main Line has got the bulk of all the videos. So I have to say the West Coast is certainly up there with my favourite, that's for sure. Right, I'll probably make this the last one, and I've probably got enough time to actually do part 2 in the same area. The sun is still up. It's what, 2 minutes past 7. Sorry, 2 minutes past 5 now. So yeah, I think I've got enough light to do another one after this. So this will be the last one. Jack Productions. Favorite diesel loco? I see. He's got a selection in one. Okay, favorite diesel loco. I'm going to pick the ones that I love: the 68, the 37, the 70, 56, and 47. Favorite electric loco has to be the Class 86 and the Class 90. Thoughts on Great Western replacing some of the turbos with 769s, old 319s. I think that's fantastic. I love the fact that these rail companies now, instead of investing in new rolling stock, they're actually inheriting older models and revamping them for the modern times. I think that's absolutely fantastic. They will initially operate on the North Downs line, Reading to Redhill and Gatwick Airport via Guildford. Fine. I like the 319s. I love the 319s. I think they're a fantastic fantastic unit. I'd love to see the new variation, the 769s. And okay, that's going to do it for now. We're 36 minutes in, probably going to be 38 by the time I finish on rattling. So, thank you for all the questions so far, and you will know the drill. If you haven't been answered in this part, then I thank you for your perseverance. There will definitely be 2 parts that I may push for 3, depending on how quickly I can rattle through the questions. So, thank you everyone for your contributions so far. It is greatly appreciated, and I will see you very, very shortly. Take care, guys. Goodbye.